That's very important as we move forward into a next federal election. When you watch the behaviors, I wanted to point out the caretaker convention, because I'm not sure if a lot of people are up to speed on that one. So essentially, Mark Carney is just there to look good as a replacement until we hold a federal election and the Canadians give him a mandate, just as Pierre Poilievre has pointed out, just as many have pointed out. It says here, in fact, he's not supposed to do almost any of the things Canada typically associates with their prime minister. Quote, avoid practicing in high-profile government-related domestic and international events, reads an official Privy Council guide to the Caretaker Convention. It adds that this includes international visits and the signing of treaties and agreements. So kind of like Mark Carney just jumping on his jet and going over to the EU to meet with King Charles, right? He shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have gone over there, but he did because he has a raw sense of entitlement. He thinks Canadians are stupid.
Minister, thanks for taking my question, and welcome to Edmonton. And James from the Western Standard. You recently...
Sorry about the microphone.
Yeah, no problem. I'm a pretty tall guy. You have not been elected in a federal election yet, and you recently flew to Europe on government wide-body jet at the expense of at least $500,000. So the question I have for you today, and maybe I'll say this before I ask the question, these people around you all paid for that flight, and you've not been elected yet. So will you commit to refunding these taxpayers for that flight?
Well, it's an interesting question, way of framing it. Look, and I'm going to go back to, I'm going to allude to the question that was asked previously by Mr. Staples from the Journal, and the situation that we're in as a country, which is we are in an economic crisis that's brought on sorry, I'm going to answer the question. Brought on by the tariffs that have been put on Canada, actual and prospective. One of the challenges...
The economic crisis was brought on by former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, and you were his advisor at the time.
I think you would find...
These people did not create that problem.
I certainly... hey, nobody in Canada created that problem. Nobody in Canada created that problem. The U.S. government has decided to put tariffs on all of its closest allies, all of its closest allies. I wouldn't for a moment suggest that anyone in Canada is the cause of this. What our responsibility is to take action to react to a different world that we're in. And part of the way we do that is we build out new partnerships, new opportunities, including opportunities, and I'm going to give you a specific one, and then I don't know if you have one more follow-up, but I'll give you a specific example. It goes to my previous answer, something I also discussed with the Premier this morning, which is Canada has many advantages, and one of them is in critical metals and minerals. One of the issues is how are we going to develop the trade routes and the trade corridors rapidly in order to export those critical metals and minerals. And who are our clients for that? Who are our customers? Do we only have one customer to the south of us? The customer that's attacking us?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
That doesn't respect the trade agreements that they signed? Or should we develop new customers? New customers in Europe. What's required, if I may, what's required for those new customers is to build out trade corridors and infrastructure, including what I referenced in my previous answer and discussed with the Premier, is the potential to go north, go to new deepwater ports, Churchill as an example, Gray's Point in Nunavut as another, and that creates a whole new set of opportunities for Albertans as a whole, for people across the country, for these hardworking people around me and those like them in the trades. And that's what my job is.
I'll take that as a no then.
What?
No, you'll take that as a very comprehensive answer to your question.